Thursday. Every Thursday, Alana Rocha from the Texas Tribune wakes up early with us to talk some politics, and we have a lot to talk about today. Good morning. First up, the New York Times reported yesterday that U.S. Senator Ted Cruz didn't report a loan from his wife's employer during the 2012 U.S. Senate campaign. Why is that important, first of all?
Well, I was on the campaign trail during that time, and he, made a point during his stump speeches to say, this is a grassroots effort, small donors. He criticized then Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst, his opponent, for, largely, pumping a lot of his own money into the campaign. Right. He also criticized Wall Street and the big banks, and then to not have disclosed the fact that he got a substantial loan from both Citi and Goldman Sachs, could have marred his campaign message. So
right. And so now it's coming out on the political trail. So is he reacting at all to this, or is he kind of not even answering?
Catherine Frazier, his spokeswoman, kind of just chalked it up to a filing error and said that they will contact the FEC if there's any, need to correct it and file an amended form. But, it just, it doesn't look good. And the fact that, it's such a sizable amount. And, he also says on the campaign trail that he asked his wife, Heidi, if they could liquidate their assets to be able to continue, funding his campaign. Right. And his line was that, without hesitation, she said yes. Well, that check they wrote now, we know a lot of that money was coming from her employer.
And what was the amount? Are we talking about hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands?
We're talking about somewhere upwards of $750,000 between the Citi and Goldman Sachs. And the Citi loan is evidently paid off. Goldman Sachs, they have between $50,000 and $100,000 left to pay off.
Okay, so yeah, we'll see if that comes up in the debate.
Tonight,
That will be interesting. Let's talk about former Governor Rick Perry and his new job. What's he doing?
He's working for a large dental private insurance provider.
Yes.
Pardon me. And it has contracts in Mexico. I had the third Chapo on the brain, but yes, I had Texas, Louisiana, and Florida.
Okay.
They have Medicaid contracts for dental insurance, and the significance here is the fact that the vice chair of the board of directors of this company was a former Perry appointee. This company was also a sizable, I believe, a top donor for Perry's presidential bid. So it just kind of shows the political workings. Even though Perry's out of the political world, he's still very much connected, and it led to this gig that he has to register as a lobbyist now.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about Mexico and El Chapo, because this is something that's significant. He is facing charges here in Texas and in other areas here in the United States. What's the reality of actually getting him from Mexico over here?
Well, the timeline isn't clear. It could be months, years, possibly, until he's back here. The significance is the fact that Mexico has said that we can have him, that he can be prosecuted here. They pushed back and said, we'll prosecute him here first. We'll make sure he stays secure. Of course, we know that wasn't true with an embarrassing escape last July from a maximum facility prison there in Mexico. So the fact that he can be, extradited, and it just shows a willingness to work across the border and maybe see where it leads from there.
Yeah, that's interesting. It does show. What does it say about our relationship with Mexico when it comes to drug offenders, when it comes to other offenders here on the side of the border and over in Mexico?
Well, you ask Department of Public Safety, and they say El Chapo's capture doesn't, vigilance won't be eased at all on either side of the border, because as we know, it's a large network, and so it's not just one person.
No.
So even though he's behind bars, he could technically maybe still run it behind bars, and then has, chains of command below him that keep the the drugs flowing, and so they'll very much stay vigilant, according to DPS.
As he said in that interview, just because they catch him doesn't mean that the drug supply stops.
Right. Nope. Exactly.
All right, Alana, thank you so